of the tape.
All right, everybody. UFC 240 now in the books. In the main event, we had Max Holloway getting a decisive victory over Frankie Edgar. Now, let me start with you. What'd you think about the fight?
Jab City.
Yeah.
Jab City. Max was piecing him up with that jab, keeping him at bay.
Really good with the uppercuts, too.
He was catching. He was landing with those uppercuts.
Yeah.
Yes, timing them very perfectly.
Very smart fighting wrestler.
What'd you think about Frankie's corner and game plan for Frankie?
All right, now, first of all...
You have a lot to say downstairs.
First of all, I want to say this. Frankie, you did good tonight. You know, you're an aging veteran fighting the next generation. It's only going to get harder from here, but you did good. And you made me proud to be a Frankie Edgar fan. Mark Henry, I got a couple of bones to pick with you. You know, and keep in mind, I'm not a fighter. I never even trained. I'm just, you know, your average blue-collar idiot watching the sport. So, you know, if any of y'all have anything to say about what I'm going to say, please let me know. But Frankie Edgar is 5'6" compared to Max Holloway's 5'11". Why is he out there circling around Max Holloway at his range, fighting at his distance? Frankie Edgar is a former collegiate wrestler, Division I. Max Holloway's wrestling game has not truly been tested, you know, even now, because the single legs that Frankie Edgar were throwing were sloppy. You know, there was a couple of times where he got him up against the fence, but didn't really commit, couldn't do anything with him. Why wasn't his wrestling improved on, and why wasn't his game plan revolved around trying to get Max Holloway to the ground here? Frankie has connections. He's good friends with Khabib. You know, why didn't he call him up, get somebody from Khabib's camp over to help Frankie Edgar out in this one?
It's not like they have a shortage of good wrestlers back where he's at.
Yeah.
Dagestan.
Why didn't Frankie Edgar take a trip to Dagestan? You know, that really irritated me, seeing Frankie fighting right into Max Holloway's game. You know, if you are going to strike with Max Holloway, from what I've been told, you know, watching the sport, you know, any combat sport, when you're a much shorter fighter than your opponent, one of your best weapons is the overhand right, or the overhand left if you're a southpaw. So why wasn't a single one thrown? Or why didn't he not even attempt to set one up? Even before the last two rounds where Max Holloway was kind of showboating in there, you had Max Holloway sticking his chin out right at Frankie Edgar. You know, he does that in all of his fights, and nobody's seemed to really capitalize on that. But, you know, looking back at Frankie's earlier fights, in his second fight with Benson Henderson, he caught Benson twice with an overhand right and put him on his butt, and arguably won that fight in some people's eyes. You know, not to me, but some people did say he won that fight. So why wasn't he trying to set that up in this one? Frankie Edgar, huge fan, you did good. I'm not such a big fan of Mark Henry. You did a big disservice to your fighter here. Yeah.
I know you had a lot to say during the fight and after the fight downstairs. I'm like, just one humble man's opinion. That's it. One of the things I really like that Max is doing is those body shots, the punches and kicks. Oh my God!
Catching him with those spinning kicks on the way out.
Spinning kicks on the way out, and then the body punches. I love it. I love a good punch to the body. Yeah. I don't know what it is about it. I just love it.
Going into their futures, let me start with Frankie Edgar. Where do you see him going next? Do you think it's smart to go down to 135 at this point?
I mean, those guys at 135 are pretty fast. Yeah. I would say give it a shot. Why not? I mean, 145, you'll probably find some matches there, but I mean, try your luck at 135. It's not going to hurt you. At least one or two fights.
I don't like the idea. I can't imagine him fighting somebody like Cody Garbrandt, who's just going to, you know, piece him up with that speed advantage that he has.
Or Morales.
Yeah. You know, like I said, Frankie Edgar is aging and he's on the decline. I know he is going to refuse to see that. His coaches probably aren't going to want to tell him that. But, you know, what I would like him to do is, you know, go the MMA Legends route and just take, you know, fun fights or, you know, fights against other aging fighters that are on their way out. Or, you know, give a shot to some rising contender in the 145-pound division. I don't think it makes sense to start cutting weight now at this stage of his career. You know, I don't necessarily want to see him retire, but I don't want to see him, you know, try to be a contender at 135 because I just do not see it happening. Now, Max Holloway, you know, clear contender we have here is Alexander Volkanovski. Do you think that fight's going to happen? Because Max Holloway has expressed interest in going back up to 155 and trying to contend for the title.
I don't like that. I mean, Max Holloway's a big guy, but we saw with Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier is a much bigger 155er, and there's a lot of big 155ers in that division. I don't think it's a smart move.
You know, one thing that really irritated me about this fight too is that as much as I love seeing Frankie contend for the title one last time, Alexander Volkanovski was a clear-cut contender, and it's not like he was injured. They actually had him come out and make way to be a backup of this fight. Frankie Edgar should have been in those shoes. He should have been in the crowd watching and being the backup for this fight. I don't want any other fight than Max Holloway versus Alexander Volkanovski. If Max Holloway is going to try to move up to 155, if he says he's done with a weight cut, I'm cool with that because I'm not really a fan of big weight cuts to begin with. So if he's going to do that, vacate the 145-pound belt and let Alexander Volkanovski fight for the vacant belt, whether it be, Korean Zombie, Brian Ortega, Zabit, any one of those guys. Overall, I just really hope to see Max Holloway versus Alexander Volkanovski. Alexander Volkanovski at this point is a younger, probably better version of Frankie Edgar. So, that's going to be interesting to see, somebody really try to get in the clinch with Max Holloway and try to put him on his back. Moving on to the co-main event, Cris Cyborg versus Felicia Spencer. Everybody was saying this is going to be a one-sided fight. It was, but Felicia Spencer showing a lot of toughness in there.
Good Lord, she was eating those punches. How that girl did not go down, I do not know.
She was taking some bombs.
Bombs. Cyborg looking like Cyborg.
Yeah.
She gets a little reckless when she smells blood. Starts throwing just too many hooks for my comfort. It was a great performance, good performance, but
too much emotion.
Too much emotion. She clearly she wanted to send a message. Yeah. She wanted to have something to prove. With this performance tonight. Yeah. She's fighting like that. If she gets a rematch with Amanda, I don't see her coming out with the W whatsoever. Now
her future is a bit cloudy because she's having this dispute with Dana White at the moment. She is, I believe, she is at the end of her contract now. What do you think is going to happen? Where do you see her going? Does she leave the UFC, or do you think they're gonna work with her and give her that Amanda Nunes rematch? And what would you prefer?
I don't think they're gonna re-nail it. Yeah. I mean, trying to find fighters for that weight class is pretty damn tough. Yeah. So I think if I was Dana, it'll make more sense to just say goodbye to her and get rid of that weight class. Yeah. Even though Amanda Nunes does have the belt, there's not too many contenders in that weight class to begin with. I say they're just gonna ride out the contract and just say goodbye to Cyborg.
No. Well, I am hoping to see that Cyborg versus Amanda Nunes rematch. I think what you're saying is the route they're gonna go. Should Cris Cyborg leave the UFC? Do you think she ends up in Bellator fighting Georgia Bud?
Any of these promotions are gonna be chomping at the bit to grab her. I think she's still a huge name.
What do you think about this idea? We talked about it earlier. Let's say PFL makes her a deal. She's had a tough weight cut, going down to 145 her whole career. They have a 155-pound division in there. And they have Kayla Harrison, who's a rising star. They want to give her a name to, just blow her name up and introduce her to, the casual fans of the sport. Do you think that's possible? Do you think they'll work something like that?
Anything's possible, but money does talk. Yeah. If she has the potential to earn more money in Bellator, with sponsors and whatnot, that's extra income. Money talks, so she might go to Bellator, and Scott Coker may, bend over backwards and create a 155 weight division just for her. Yeah. You never know. Who knows? Either way, whoever's going to get her, I mean, it's only going to bring more eyes to those promotions. So I just can't wait to see which one she goes to.
All right, now going in, one other highlight I want to bring up, Geoff Neal versus Niko Price.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, great fight. Now, I love our neighbors up north, home of, in my opinion, the greatest mixed martial artist of all time, GSP. But, at the beginning of this card, you guys, fighters, were putting us to sleep. So we had to get some Americans in there to bring us some entertainment. And it was a great fight. Geoff Neal looking really good in there. A lot of people were picking him to win this one. And, this was my first time really seeing what he was all about. And he was just better than Niko Price in pretty much every aspect of the game.
His striking was very crisp, very clean. But good Lord, he could not count out Niko Price. Yeah. Just when you think he's about to go out, he starts to flurry. Yeah. And connects and hurts.
Yeah. Geoff Neal.
Geoff Neal, there you go.
Yeah.
I was about to call him by his nickname, and then I forgot his nickname. or whatever.
Hands of steel.
Hands of steel.
Now, that's the one thing. Niko Price has some crazy power in there. And, you know, a lot of people get suckered into a brawl with him, and that's where they lose. And Geoff Neal almost did get suckered into that brawl, and he got tagged a little bit. But he got his wits about him, went right back to the ground game, and just pounded Niko Price out.
I was hoping to see a double knockout. Didn't happen. Came close. Came close. Didn't happen.
Yeah. And then we could have saw a rematch.
We could have saw a rematch.
Yeah. Now, still, you know, I'm still a big fan of Niko Price. He's always entertaining in there. Geoff Neal, I think he's past the prospect level now. I think we all know what he's about. Really looking to what comes next for him. I don't know, because I don't really know what's going on down at the lower level of the welterweight division. All I want to say is that, you know, he is a local guy from Texas. So I'm really looking forward to seeing where he goes next. All right, well, everybody, that's our recap of UFC 240. Congratulations to Max Holloway, continuing to, you know, become a legend in his own right and continuing his dominance. Really looking forward to seeing where he goes next, and I'm hoping it's Alexander Volkanovski. Other than that, we'll see you on the next one see you next week for the next one.
Yeah, I mean, what does it mean to you? You praised him so much leading up to this fight. It was all respect afterwards. What does it mean to have his name on your resume?
It means a lot. You know, without the guys like Frankie Edgar, you wouldn't have guys like me. Frankie Edgar was the inspiration. You know, Drake said, train till your idols become your rivals. You know, and we're here. And he's a beast. You know, you can't take nothing away from Frankie. He's still a legend. He's been in top 5 forever in 2 different weight classes. In a weight class where he was very undersized. Boy looked kind of big today, though, but it was super fun. You know, it was super fun. You know, like I said, I'm trying to be the best pound for pound fighter in the world, not the best featherweight in the world. I'm trying to be the best pound for pound fighter in the world, and Frankie's one of the guys to help me one step towards that goal.